Hello guys and welcome to the final part of this HTML5 tutorial, this final 7th video. We already talked about a lot. Today we are going to talk about frames, style and programming. This will be our last 3 chapters and well, let's get right into it. Let's start another section. This will be quite a short section. We will be only learning one tag, and this section is called frames. And here, as I said, the only frame we are going to learn is the iframe. The only tag we are going to learn is the, as I said, here the only tag we are going to learn is the iframe tag. We don't need this for now. And here in source, we don't need this for now. Here in source, the iframe tag specifies an inline frame that is used to embed another document within the current HTML document. So what this says is that we can open another document or another website inside our document, our website. So for example, here in source, I can choose to open another website inside this page. This can be lots of sites. Some of them don't let you embed their own site in another page, but mine will let you do that. So, as you can see, if we now refresh this, there it is, my own site. It is a little bit small, so let's give it a width of 500 and a height of 400. And now you can see a bit better my website. And here you can navigate through all my sites or whatever site you choose to put inside the iframe tag. Now let's do another thing that uses the same tag but with another principle. So for example, lots of sites have their YouTube videos inside their own site. You can see the whole YouTube video inside their site and not inside YouTube. So to do that, you can just open any video in YouTube. For example, I will open my pilot video, and so let's just wait for it to load. Here in share, you go to embed. You can choose any options from these ones to start at a specific point or to enable privacy in enhanced mode. So I won't check any of those boxes. I'll just copy the embed code, and now I'll paste it. It will look like this, and there we have it, my own video in my own website, like that. So that's it for this chapter. I'll see you in the next one. Now we will start another chapter. This one is very small too, so let's create our section, our heading. Here we will call it style. And in this chapter, we also have only one tag. So, like this. Here we have everything already updated. Let's see here our new chapter called style. The style tag is used to define style information for an HTML document. Inside the style element, you can specify how HTML elements should render in a browser. Each HTML document can contain multiple style tags. Inside those tags is CSS. So just create the tag style And here, well, it's CSS code. We will be learning that in our next tutorial. But just so you have an idea, you can here choose, H2, that will select all the H2 elements. In the H2 elements, you can say, for example, color, and say that it should be red. And now if we reload, as you see, now all the tags that are H2 will be in red because it is like so in the style. And well, that's about it. Of course, there is much more. There is much more to CSS, but I'll be covering all about CSS in the next tutorial. So stay tuned. And if you want to learn that, I'll see you there. So we are only missing one chapter, and that will be the next one. I'll see you in the next chapter. So let's put our titles back to black by the default mode, like so. And now let's start our last chapter. Let's create a section on H2, and this chapter will be called programming. So let's start with our first tag, and this tag is called script. The script tag is used to define a client-side script. Normally inside these tags you have JavaScript. The script element either contains scripting statements or it contains an external script file through the source attribute. So here I can just put normal JavaScript code, for example this alert function that we will also be learning about it later in a few tutorials into my channel. So let's just say hello world, and now if we refresh, here we have it. Our code is saying to us hello world, like so. And for example, if you don't want to have a script like this, if you want to have with the source, you can have inside your folder a .js file, and you can put everything you want of the script, every JavaScript code inside this file, and it will work normally as if you put all that code inside the script tags. So that is about it for now for the script tag. Let's keep moving, and now we will be learning the link tag, like this. The link tag defines a link between a document and an external resource. So the link tag is commonly used to link to external style sheets. For example, if we don't want to put our CSS code inside our HTML document, we can also do like here in the script, but with this tag, the link tag, we can put here for example, style.css, and this should be a CSS file we have in our folder. And if we have all of our CSS code there, it will work as normal as or as well as having the code here inside the HTML document. You can also learn that there are types to this tag. You can choose between a lot of them, for example, like this, text CSS. And now the browser knows that you are connecting this page to a CSS file through this type attribute. So, well, as I said, we'll cover CSS later, so that will be it for now. And we have now our final tag, and that tag is the meta tag. Metadata is data information about data. So the meta tag provides metadata about the HTML document. Metadata will not be displayed on the page, but will be machine parsable. Meta elements are typically used to specify page description, keywords, author of the document, the last modifications, and other metadata. The metadata can be used by browsers on learning how to display the content or how to load the page. It can be useful for search engines because of the keywords you put inside the meta tag, and many other useful things like for other web services. So here in data we have a lot of them. You can, for example, define your char set. It normally is UTF-8. You can have another meta tag, and here we will have a name, and the name will be description. And in the content, here you basically can have a description of your website. For example, it doesn't need to be very long, it just needs to be concise and go direct to the subject. For example, here you can put for example, you can put some bigger ones, some shorter descriptions, but well, that's about it. So as I said, you can also have keywords, and sorry, here in content, you can put all the keywords. For example, we are learning HTML, CSS a little bit. We are learning XML. That is the kind of document that the HTML is. We are also learning JavaScript a little bit, and so on, so on. After that, we can have a meta tag for author, in the name, author. And in the content, we can just put the developer, like so. And finally, we have our meta tag. We have our meta tag, and this will tell us the view part. And in the content, you can here put that the width will be equal to, sorry about that, will be equal to the device width. Sorry, we are missing here an equal to the device width. That is telling the browser that when it opens, the maximum width of the page will be the screen of the device you are in. If it is in a computer, it will be a large screen. If it is in a phone, it will be a smaller screen. You can also set the initial scale, and that will normally have the value of 1.0. All these tags aren't really supposed to be here. For example, if you have, like before, the script tag, but with JavaScript code, like so, you may put it anywhere you want inside the HTML document. And also, if you have these tags with style, you can also put it anywhere you want in the HTML document. But if you only have a source in the script or in the link tag, and all of the meta tags shall be in the add tag right here, because this doesn't make much sense being outside the add tag, because they don't render anything. So they are just new information for the page to know how to render and to know what to tell the browsers and the search engines. So yes, all of these tags shall be in the add tag. So finally, I just want to explain how how our cheat sheet about HTML came to be. So well, as you see, I've put all the sections and the main tag here in green, the header tag in red. All the tags are now that are used in the semantics chapter are now identified. So I told you before that I will explain to you why this is a article, and the reason is that along these all documents you always have references to the sections and to all the semantics tags you are using. So as we said before, an article should have independent information that makes sense anywhere inside our website. So it really does make sense to have it anywhere inside our website, because well, along all the way to the end in our website, we are always talking about semantics, and well, because we can put that inside an article and move it anywhere in the page, and it will still make sense because it will still tell you what the semantics tag are doing and why they are there. And finally, I want to tell you about two attributes that we didn't really use throughout our tutorial, and those tags are the ID and the class tags. So, for example, here, I put an ID in all the sections that are defining a new chapter. So, for example, there is an ID here in the basic HTML chapter in this section. What the ID does is identify an element, and that can be used in JavaScript or in CSS to select that element and make something with that element. But the uses of IDs can go beyond that, and well, an ID must be unique for an element in all of the HTML document. So this is my ID. And remember when we talked about the anchor tags? Well, I told you that inside the href attribute you should only put a website or another HTML page inside your website, so you can navigate through those pages, but you can actually put an hashtag before and then put the ID you have chosen for a element, and that will make so that you can navigate through your own page without leaving your page. So for example, here let's click basic HTML, and it led me right to the HTML chapter. So let's now learn, for example, about semantics, and it will lead me to the semantics chapter. And all you see here are IDs I've given to all the sections that are defining a new chapter. For example, here, adding texts, they are all here, formatting texts. They are all identified by a specified and unique ID, and putting them like this in the href, I can go even to the last chapter here, programming. And well, that's about it. The other thing I want to teach you, well, I should leave this to CSS, to the CSS tutorial, but I can teach you now, is that you see, if I don't have this, basically this is a selector of the HTML tag, meaning it's selecting all the document. And inside here, I put scroll behavior smooth. That is to achieve this effect of going smoothly through the page. If I delete this and I reload, now instead of scrolling down, it will lead me right in a blink of an eye to the chapter we clicked on. If you want to see tables, it will go to tables. But if I leave the scroll behavior as smooth and I reload, now if I want to go to audio and videos, it will scroll me to the chapter that I clicked on. And well, that's about it for this tutorial. So we are finally here. This is the finishing line of this HTML5 tutorial. I know it wasn't the best tutorial, it could be a lot better, but doing this I already learned a lot doing this first tutorial. I know I can improve a lot more, but if you guys have something that didn't go as well as you thought it would, just leave a comment and tell me where I can get better. So with this last tutorial, I really hope that you understand HTML5 very well, and that you can now apply it at your school or at your work or whatever you need HTML5. And yeah, that's about it. If you think this tutorial helped you, please subscribe and leave a like in this video. And yeah, for the future, I will be talking about CSS in the next tutorial, and I will stop a bit the tutorials after that, and I will make some 1 or 2 series showing you that HTML and CSS combined are a powerful tool, and that you can recreate almost every site you use nowadays with just HTML5 and CSS. Well, that's it from me. I really hope you learned a lot, and yeah, have a good one.